So what time did you come into town today?
Just recently.
Yeah.
Donnie. Yeah. These are great local guys, local Canadians. And I heard you'd be a great candidate, both of you, for NCA.
I might have to grow a little bit more hair. Usually the candidates, the hair grows a little bit better than mine. Like, you know, it's interesting. If you look at Bill Casey, there's no substance there, but he's got good hair, and he looks good in a suit, and he has a good smile. So he's almost like a car salesman. So when he says hello, it looks like he's sincere, but he's a complete phony.
I know. We saw him last night, and this is a long-time Liberal MP we're talking about, but isn't that the sad reality? That has nothing to do with substance?
Well, I think we got to start, like, if we look at our education system here in Nova Scotia and across Canada, like, we had a climate strike at the CEC about climate change.
Yeah.
The young people are completely brainwashed. Completely brainwashed. We all know, if you study the issue on climate change, Timothy Ball, you mentioned in your various videos, he explains about climate change and global warming. It's a complete, utter hoax. But if you go to any school, if you ask any high school students, they all believe in this stuff. So in order to get change in this country, we need to start re-educating people. CBC, for example, $1.6 billion received from the federal government. We need to eliminate CBC. I mean, Stephen Harper, he talked about it. Did he do it?
We wouldn't eliminate it. The reason we wouldn't eliminate it, because if we did eliminate it, then it'd be just these globalist corporations controlling the media. What we want to do is reform it so it's actually that it's fact-based, objective media, and that it's pushing traditional Canada, right?
Well, like Rebel News, I mean, they have some good ideas.
They never covered NCA.
Right.
Zero. Never.
See, that's the thing about him.
So he's got a bias.
He's got some decent ideas in there, but at the same time, he's still not covering the real issues.
Yeah, he's not covering, and we called out the local media today. They did just a complete dishonest spin on it yesterday. They had me questioning Trudeau, which is factually correct.
Yeah.
But they never said what I was questioning him about. So what are they hiding? Why? There's no integrity in the media. I'll tell you this: we were in Halifax at the bridge. They were blocking. We approached one of the CBC reporters. As soon as I started talking the facts on climate change,
the battery.
We got to go.
The battery.
But hold on a sec.
I seen that.
But the truth about that?
Yeah.
She just put new batteries into her mic, so she was lying.
Oh, I know.
So this is the reasons Canadians are misinformed. Like, the media is dishonest. The mainstream politicians are dishonest. They're getting fed nonsense in the schools. We were excluded from 4 debates locally. There was 2 in Amherst, 2 in Toronto. We weren't invited.
Also, immigration is another issue that we should talk about. If you look at, especially in the last couple of years, I've noticed a huge change in traditional Canada, where we're used to seeing European Canadians. They're bringing them in. It's costing us, taxpayers, billions of dollars. Just today, I do deliveries for a living. I see it. When I go to a door, I mean, I have nothing against the people themselves, but both parties are behind this, and it's costing us, the taxpayers, billions of dollars. And people like us, we're having a hard time finding work because of it. It's true.
So, right, people are in denial again. This is another conditioning. Any person who speaks about this, you're automatically labeled racist. But there is a mass migration agenda. It's part of demographic replacement. It's called replacement migration.
UN.
Out of the UN.
Canada is the perfect example by the UN. We're doing everything the UN says.
Yeah.
We follow UN.
But we are the UN.
We are the UN.
Look at Louise Arbour, former Supreme Court judge. She's right deep in the UN. Look up Maurice Strauss.
Yeah, and one
He
of the
was deep
original
in it,
founders of the
right?
UN was the guy who went on trial for, he was a Russian agent, what's his name? Witness, what was the witness? Alger Hiss. But another thing is,
How is he tied to Canada?
Well, he started the UN. He was one of the.
Oh, he's just part of the,
Yeah.
So you're saying the communists?
Absolutely.
Well,
That's the origin.
just go down to CEC. Go down to the high school, CEC. I went down there the other day, and all I saw, culture Marxism. Everywhere I looked, Karl Marx is there.
Yep.
John saw it.
Che Guevara is
John
also
was in the education program, and he had a face against these Marxists.
If Karl
And
Marx.
because of it, they gave him a hard time. They gave him a really hard time, and they deliberately went after John because he's a traditional Canadian.
Free thinker.
Free thinker, independent thought. They don't want anybody. They want puppets. They want everybody to go along with it.
Yeah, John's amazing.
Just go down to CC. You guys should go down there and just take
We will.
Cobequid Education Center and just take a view exactly what the
We're going to go down. Do you want to come with us?
You know, it's funny.
disgusting.
Is
Let's head
pretend to be
down.
climatologists. There's no climatology course. There's no meteorology course there, and everybody's an expert on the climate.
another thing-
and nobody can predict whether or not the hurricane's going to hit Nova Scotia. You know what I mean? It's funny, isn't it?
Just talk to people today. They're completely dumbed down on the issues.
Yeah, they are.
They don't know the issues. They watch 30 seconds of CNN or CBC and base their arguments on that. They say, oh, we know what's going on. I mean, if you ask the average person about Donald Trump around here, Donald Trump is for the American people. What we need is a Canadian leader for the Canadian people. We're not internationalists here. We're not global. Right?
Now Trudeau belongs to some World Parliament organization as well. Have you looked at that?
Yeah, UN parliamentary.
Right.
So the big thing coming down the pipeline too is Canada. It's like the EU. It's a Commonwealth Union, and these globalists who have infiltrated the federal government, the mainstream parties, they want to protect what's called, quote, liberal international order, the UN, World Bank, IMF, international monetary, the international banking cartel, they're worried about populism, nationalism. So CANZUC would be, it'd be this massive government overseeing the Commonwealth countries. There's 53 of them. But it'd be open borders from India, Pakistan, Bangladesh into Canada. But this is what's coming.
This is all about a new world order.
This is official policy of the Conservative Party of Canada, CanZuck, and the Liberals support it
No matter
too.
what party you
Doesn't
get,
matter.
it's the
That's
party.
scary.
There's no difference.
Well, this is one reason why he wants to dismantle the
Another thing is, I mean,
CBC.
they talk about
They've been
the debt, and I
propaganding
think
for
if you ask
conditioning
Connor
for
Armstrong about
decades.
the debt,
Well, the problem with the CBC, where's our media going to come
Conservatives
from? They'll be
have
just
created more
globalist,
debt than the liberals.
CDV, global,
right?
right?
Over the
Build a
last
government
years,
body.
So we were
since
thinking, let's
1968, they've created
let's
more
try and
debt.
reform it so it's working for our,
Is there a difference
what
between
we
parties?
But if you have a governing body,
Somewhat.
legally,
Basically,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
you
And we
can
don't want
hold
the
them
AGP
accountable.
there.
Now
They're the
they've been lying to the
Socialist
public for
Party. So, and the Green Party, the
decades.
climate change, we know that's just totally made
Yeah.
up.
So all that mainstream media was there when we were confronting Justin Trudeau. Not a single story on it about the human rights violation. If that was me or some other member of NCA, it'd be front page news. Slam
But it
dunk.
really shows you, the election of Trudeau shows you the realities of the Canadian voter. If his name was Smith, Johnson, or McDonald, no one would know him.
We know we got in there.
Exactly.
And they
He's not
deliberately
qualified. If he,
He's protected by
When you
his
hear him speak, he's absolutely the worst speaker you could ever hear. He's never taken a public speaking course. When he talks, he's it's just terrible. It's terrible. It's
Well, he's a
terrible.
puppet, man. He's
an
on the
actor.
tape. He's on the tape.
He's a former actor.
It's all theater. He's up there on the stage, right?
Lenore's the same way. She's an actress.
Yeah.
Not a good one.
So this is what we're fighting, but we're trying to expose it. I think we're doing a reasonable job. We just got to do more, right, to wake up people.
That's the
what
thing.
made you
I mean,
choose
people
Cumberland
are
Colchester?
brainwashed.
There was a whole bunch of
It's
reasons.
unbelievable.
I can tell you
I
afterwards.
can't believe it when you talk
I'm
to the
glad we
average
came
person
here,
on
regardless
issues,
of
they
that
just
one.
don't know. I'm sorry, they
Because
don't
it's
know
opened
anything.
my eyes.
Did you have a concussion? When you were kicked in the head? Or did you?
Yeah, I don't think I had a concussion, and maybe a mild
Mild one?
A mild one, yeah.
Okay. Those guys don't kick very hard anyway, do they? They don't have much power.
Well, his boot didn't. I mean, I felt
Was
it.
it a steel? Was it a steel toe? Sorry.
I don't know if it was steel toe. Apparently, it was an army boot. It was
It
an
was
army
one of
boot. or
those
something.
To get sued for assault.
Salvation Army boots, you know, the ones you can buy the black ones.
Sorry?
It was,
Sued
it
for
was a man.
assault.
It was a man.
I've pressed
Look,
charges.
understand
So
process.
I'm waiting for the police to do their
Yeah.
job.
Yeah.
Sorry, he was asking.
No, I'm just saying it was
Yeah.
hard to tell. It was
But it was
the
the Toro
person who
police,
did it
so they
almost
thought
looked
he was doing
androgynous.
shit.
It was sort of I couldn't tell it was a man. Was it a man?
I don't know whether it was a man or a woman.
Have you
or-
ever been to any?
It was an it.
Have you gone
That's
to
all
any
I
small
just.
businesses? Talked to any of the small businesses in Truro? Like I've spoken to a few of them, and I asked them a question. I said, "How hard is it to run a business now?" He said, "More difficult every year." They said, "Why? Taxes are going up every year. They have to work more hours. They make less money. They can't really hire anybody because they have to work more hours because of the tax." And what was it, Harper? Didn't he say he was going to get rid of the GST? Or he talked about it.
Yeah.
Brian Mulrooney's the one who brought it in.
Yeah.
In 1991, I think
Yeah,
it
and
was.
Gretchen said he was going to get rid of
And
it
he went over
twice.
to New Zealand. I think that's where he got it from because he talked to the leaders in New Zealand. And they said, "Well, we're going to bring in the pay off the debt." That was just made up.
Yeah, you know what they're doing too, that they're flooding temporary foreign workers, cheap labor in here, displacing Canadian workers. And
But people are afraid to speak up because they're going to be called a racist. That's right off the bat. That's culture Marxism. They'll say, "Oh, you're a racist. You're a bigot."
Yeah.
That's what they do to people.
But the beauty of what we did yesterday, it was really interesting if you look at it. Our approach was, you know, we could have confronted Trudeau on Muslim Brotherhood, on political Islam. We could have talked about the Bank of Canada, the mass migration. We could have brought up all those issues yesterday at that market. But we chose to focus on the human rights because we felt that it was affecting the local, but also he needs to address it because it is kind of like a scandal. But because the media didn't cover it because they couldn't call us racist. You see that? If I went in there and said, "Trudeau, you support the Muslim Brotherhood, you're doing this, you're doing that," you know what it would have been front page news. Garvey's a racist. This is the same guy who confronted Gurtan Singh. You see? And instead, we focused on human rights. And they can't label us racist, right? So they silence us.
What's the human rights problem with Lenore Zan? What happened there?
She's been doing malicious attacks against us since 2018, against myself and CA, while she was an MLA. She orchestrated the shutdown of 4 different venues. This is all in violation of the Nova Scotia Human Rights Act. I have a $250,000 claim against her, and we're going through the process of that right now. I've already done one. I've done the phone call in. I've done the first submission. I'll be doing the second submission, and we'll be providing our evidence. This is the only way we can fight back. We have 7 human rights complaints in right now with the Nova Scotia, and we have 1 pending constitutional case. So our message to everyone out there, to hit them where it hurts. Under the Human Rights Act, we can go after monetary damages. So that's what
Now,
we're
do you have a
doing.
year to do that? Or?
We have a year, but I did it right away.
Okay.
I'm not waiting around. I did it within a couple of days of receiving it. We will expedite this. I'm hoping, God forsaken, if that, I'll be honest, she's a bimbo, and I don't say that in a misogynist way.
No, it's true.
But she knows nothing. I call it, she's just a bimbo, failed actress. That's all she is.
It's like somebody's giving her the script to read.
Yeah, she doesn't know any of the policies. She's pathetic.
That's a problem with our voters, though, right
But
there.
my point is, if she gets in, she may have to resign because of this, once this human rights comes
See, you know
through.
what? Like, I mean, there's people in my area where I live, and I'm voting for Lenore. They don't know any of the issues, but they're only basing it on a celebrity. She's a celebrity, right? That's it. So you really have to look at the population Really, seriously. I mean, even right now, I looked at the polls this morning, and the NDP are getting a little bit more. It's not going to the Conservatives; it's going to the NDP. So you got to ask yourself why.
Well, there's a lady we know.
It's
Sorry,
a
sorry to
conditioning.
Also, too, though, we're a leftist society. We really are. The Americans are a little bit more freedom-minded. They believe in capitalism, less taxes. But Canada wants, for some reason, here it seems to me that we're.
I think it's because we've been lied to for decades by our media. Honestly, our
That's a big
educational
part of it.
system's gone right down.
Yeah, but you know what?
Education system,
You know what the
number one.
NDP's doing? They're pandering to the minority,
Oh, yeah.
right? And there's growing.
Right.
What? There's around 33% minority in this country, visible minority.
And that's why they want to change.
So they're gonna capture that vote, right?
And they want to change the election age to 16. Can you imagine? Can you imagine?
So all these kids coming out of the indoctrination will go right.
Look
So-
at that Thorn, what's her name? Thornburg?
Greta
Girl there?
Thornburg?
Yeah.
Greta
Oh yeah,
She was
yeah, I
talking
remember
about-
her.
How dare you?
Did you see
Yeah.
her face?
She's full of anger. She's been completely indoctrinated.
And they're the most closed-minded.
Maybe she's getting kickback. She's probably getting a lot of perks, right? A lot of funding.
I heard she was an actress, by the way.
So,
That's what I heard.
She'd probably be the head of the UN down the road. What do you think?
but
Exactly.
but the fact that they were censoring us nationally and locally in debates shows that they're afraid of our message, right?
They don't want people to hear it, because if you hear it, you wake people up. And there is people that are starting. I mean, every person when I talk to, I always ask them, "Who are you voting for?" And I mentioned your guys' party. I said, "You guys are the only ones that are not like the mainstream party, and you're hitting all the main issues,
Yeah,
which
of
is really
course.
good."
Of course.
There's one lady we know, in 2015, somebody asked her, why did you vote for Trudeau? She said, he's good looking.
Exactly.
He's
Yeah,
good looking.
yeah.
That was it.
Seriously, yeah.
Doesn't
Unbelievable.
surprise me. I mean,
True
Story.
Unbelievable.
True story.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
It's true, yeah.
This is,
No question about it.
yeah, we just got to keep fighting and getting the message out there.
I think the more. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, unfortunately, we were discussing in the car. We were figuring that the kind of change we're looking for, not the phony, real change Trudeau likes to talk about, but more of the revolutionary change that we're talking about. It probably won't happen until there's more of a crisis here. Another 10 years when we're more like Europe.
I think that's
You know
what's
what I
gonna
mean?
happen. Look at
But we're building the foundation now for this, right?
Good start.
I,
You open the door, like somebody
Yeah.
said. I mean, it's opening the door to people. That,
It's opening the door to reality.
I think you have to. The big thing is to continue pointing out to the people and how they're being lied to and used. I mean, I used to be a liberal until I came home and started reading, and then I realized that this doesn't make sense what the media is telling me. It's not traveling all over the world, and we're being lied to and used for votes, and the population is conditioned, and this is how our Canada, in my opinion, from our educational system, they get you when they're young, and they plant the seed at a young age, and then all the way up through university. I used to be a liberal, like a real liberal, until I realized that I was being lied to and used, and now, and then see the liberals, we believe in free speech. We want freedom, equality, and all this sort of stuff. Yeah, but they don't want your free speech.
they don't want.
But-
Anybody disagrees
They
with
don't
them.
want-
But you see the problem with this guy here? He was a liberal. And no offense to you, my friend.
It's okay.
I have a lot of respect for this guy. He jumped to the conservatives, so
Yeah.
Because of these guys.
no. But my point is,
Well, I know what
there's
you're
no
saying.
difference between
Yeah.
them,
Right.
right? So that's where you're getting controlled. So
Was the only other party, really. And then,
no, but that's how they control the multi-controlled opposition. So they got you jumping between these parties. You're still controlled,
well, for me, was the
right?
difference between
You
liberalism
see how it
and
works?
the ideology.
But
for
they
me
think they're
is a
so
big difference.
smart, eh? The people running the media is behind it. We saw it at the market. I called them out. They didn't even interview us. We were making allegations about human rights violations. If the media had any integrity, they would come up and try and get some more information out of me, what I was talking about.
Yeah. They say they believe
Zero
in open
interest,
debate. They don't
right?
believe in open debate, and they say they're for inclusion, but they don't want to hear anybody else's views. It's just their views.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, if you look at Bill Casey, for example, conservative, independent, liberal, and his views haven't changed. All the parties he's been
Well, he was a sitting conservative. He admitted to me he was a
told
liberal.
you when you were talking
Yeah.
to him. He said, I'm not conservative. He said, I'm liberal. Remember?
Yeah.
I told him, what are you sitting as a conservative for?
Well, when you guys were down at the library that day, when you were
Okay.
facing off against the younger generation, they were yelling and screaming and you couldn't get a word in edgewise. But there was a few people that were hearing the word. But it shows you how brainwashed the younger generation, and that's where it starts. It starts with the younger generation. And really, the parents, one thing they're doing is dividing the family. Break the family up, create chaos. The traditional family, father, mother, children. What was this? Gramsci, the socialist, said, how do we destroy a country? We destroy the family. Destroy the family, you take the country down. That's cultural Marxism.
You know what
That's
Orwell
what they've done
said?
here.
You know how you destroy a people is eliminate their understanding of history.
Their own
And
history.
they're doing that now. We're all immigrants, right?
What was the quote you mentioned about the truth?
Truth, another one by Orwell, which is great. The further the society drifts from truth, the more those who speak the truth will be hated.
That's true.
And you can argue, you can extrapolate off that further. The further you drift from truth, the further you are from freedom, the closer you are to tyranny. And that's exactly what's happening. Truth is, people who speak truth now, or these people are hateful, they're fear-mongering.
But the entire
We are living in an Orwellian society right now, without question.
the entire
The
foundation
media would be right out of George Orwell, the way they're acting.
the entire foundation of
This
the
isn't
political
made
left
up.
is based on lies. A lie told often
But-
becomes truth.
But the good news here, see, the fact that NCA exists, because without us, what would you have, everyone? Right? You would just have the blah.
More non-voters.
See, we're exposing it because we're true opposition. We're creating the contrast, which may be the gateway out of this. You see? That's the beauty of what NCA is doing.
I'm afraid
We are taking our lumps. We need your support. So send in your donation, become a member, run as a candidate. We can't do this alone. You got to realize that, right?
Have you read Homage to Catalonia, George Orwell? That's his best book.
Is it?
That's the one where he goes over to Spain and he fights against Franco. It's really funny.
Oh, I got to read
It's just
that.
a
I don't
total
think I read
disaster.
it.
He goes over there. The
Oh,
equipment,
yeah.
the equipment doesn't work. Nobody knows who's in charge because it's socialism, right? And it's communism. Everybody said, well, who's the leader over here? It's totally disorganized. You got to Homage to Catalonia, HOMAGE, Homage to Catalonia. It's his best book, I think.
OGE?
Yeah, Homage to Catalonia.
I'm going to read that. I love
He gets
George
shot in the
Orwell.
throat. He
I
gets
love
shot in the
George
throat.
Orwell.
You're all right. Let me write
Yeah, write it down there. I'm going to read that. But he did a hell of a lot for the common person.
Remember the ending scene of that movie, or one of the ending scenes, when they asked him to
Oh,
show
thank
two
you for doing that.
fingers
Yeah.
up?
Yeah, I'm gonna read
They
that.
said, how many fingers? And he was so brainwashed, so beaten down.
2 + 2 = 5.
Yeah.
Was that in that book?
No,
No,
it's in
that's
the movie.
in, 1984.
But it
Yeah.
tells you about what is going on today.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
incrementalism is how they brought this in. A little bit here, a little bit
Little bit there.
Yeah.
You know, and we're at the point right now, like you said, we're at a crossroads, and I honestly really do believe that we're going to go down the waterfall.
Finished.
Oh,
It's
really?
done. Honestly, I really do believe that. And
How do we get ourselves out after going down?
I'm afraid of what the next stage is they're going to
We're gonna
pass
be
all
in
these
camps?
hate laws where you cannot even speak with certain groups.
Yeah.
Trudeau's going to do it. If he wins this election, I really do believe that's his next step.
M103 and
Because
he's
he doesn't want any opposition at all.
Yeah.
He has a little bit, and there's a grassroots movement, but I mean, I have to ask you a question though. You went across Canada. Where do you see more people responding to your message? Is there a province that's
It's
more
got to be
open to
Alberta.
this?
It's got to be.
No, there's a lot of indoctrinated there, big time.
It must be all coming
I'm
from
not
over
going to
here.
generalize, Adrian. It's a tough question. There is a silent majority. Even it didn't show in the videos yesterday, but we had people come by, keep up the great work. We support you, type thing. They are dumbed down. I don't know how big this silent majority out there, but they are out there. The conditioning is so severe in Canada. But the trouble is the multi-controlled opposition. Because in the last election, it was all about getting rid of Harper. Now it's all about getting rid of Trudeau. This is just the game of control. This is like right out of Orwell, right? They create fake opposition. Oh, we got to get, they just keep going back and forth. This has been the history of Canada since Confederation, there's only been 2 parties back and forth. You know what I mean? So people are going to have to get through that. NCA is vital, in our opinion, to this because we're providing a true grassroots opposition, a place of sanity where you can get the facts and truth, right? So that's why they vilify us. They don't want to give us any media coverage. When they do, they vilify us. You know, just look at the debates we put up, the ones we were invited. You'll see the contrast.
Where were you? You were Parsbro. Where else?
Wentworth. We did one at the food insecurity, at the food bank.
Okay.
And then there was a prison one, but that was no cell phone. So that was almost pretty useless.
No electronics allowed.
There was 4 other ones, 2 in Amherst we were excluded from, and 2 in Truro. 2 of the major centers.
So do you
So
think
that's
that-
outright discrimination and censorship.
So do you think
And
they
I would
actually
have
got
loved to
together?
laid into those mainstream career politicians again. You know, I had them, you know, I'm a very humble person. I had them squirming in their seats, right? So it is what it is. They are afraid of our message, but you know, we just got to keep growing. We're actually stronger through this process. We're going to be stronger next election, and it may be sooner than later, right? So please consider running, both of you guys. You guys
I
have
never
to-
really thought about it.
Yeah, think about it. Give it thought now, because you guys are the type of candidates who want. You think for yourself. You love our country. You see what's going on. What more could we ask from a candidate, right?
See, I think we can tell the truth. We can speak say the right things to people, but we really need to change people. Somehow we need to change the thought process of people because.
But we're opening the door. That's what
Yeah,
we're doing.
I know, but I look at even.
I changed.
TV,
I'll give you my
TV,
example.
Hollywood, celebrities. It's just.
I'll give you. I'm a good example. I was a bit fooled on climate change,
Okay.
but someone opened me up to a different way, different facts, and now I see it differently. We don't view climate change as a hoax. We believe it's a natural phenomenon, but we view IPCC, UN climate change as exaggerated, a hoax. Okay? But we all could do this change, and our friend here, he shifted. Unfortunately, he went from one mainstream party to another, so it was pretty ineffectual. But now maybe he's ready to make the leap.
Well, I made the leap long ago. It was ideological.
No, but
for
I'm
me.
talking
It wasn't
into
about
something
parties.
like NCA where we're all fact-based, right? You see what I'm saying?
Well, like the climate, it's not about climate.
But understand this, they are so afraid of us. You see, they know we can change minds. That's why they censor us. That's why they don't want our message coming out. Do you understand that? So we got to figure out a way to get our message out. We've been very successful. We've had some videos go viral. So we are reaching people. We have, there's other populist nationalists in Europe who have very similar agendas. So we can support each other.
That's what it is. It's part of the
Right?
nationalist movement against the internationalists.
Yeah. It's basically nationalism against globalism.
And they stuck that into our heads ever
Yeah.
since World War II,
Yeah.
that we do not want any sort of national movement.
Well, what's his name? Duchesne? Is that his name? Duchesne? Yeah, he could
The
have.
NDP guy?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's a joke.
He's so stupid.
Absolute
He's a teacher.
joke.
Can you imagine?
I
That's a
can't
perfect
believe
example
that.
of
And he
This-
said,
this
we're
guy's
citizens
a-
of the world. He said.
Yeah, he said we're
okay?
citizens
he
of the
did,
world.
yeah.
So what would happen if he went over to Saudi Arabia and he started talking about
I know.
women's rights?
I know,
That's
I know.
too
Like,
much.
I mean, you take Japan.
Citizens of the world, that
Citizens of
says
the
it all.
world.
That's indoctrination. That's global citizenry. That's everything we've been talking about. Another thing about this Duchesne guy, I'm talking about fiscal responsibility, and he responds, just throw more money. Just throw more money.
Of course, it's not his money, right?
Yes,
Of course,
yes,
it's not his
yeah.
money.
And they say tax the rich, but what's the rich? You make
Yeah.
$80,000 a year is rich? That's
Yeah,
nothing.
yeah.
to the
You're
state.
right,
If you're
you're right.
making $80,000, that's nothing to the state.
And you said something.
That's nothing.
You said something at the debate. Was it, oh, it's not the government's responsibility to create jobs.
That's our view.
See, if
That's
Obama
our view,
hires
man.
if Obama
That's our
hires a
view.
secretary, if Obama hires a secretary, he doesn't pay for it.
Yeah, exactly.
See, so it's a
And
fake.
look
It's
at-
fake.
Look at the cost of, you take beer, for example, or even cigarettes. I don't smoke, but you go down to the States, you buy a case of beer for $10 or 36 beer for $10. In the States, it's what, $50? Or here in Canada, $50 for beer. Cigarettes, same thing. It just tells you about our taxes in this.
Oh yeah, it's brutal.
Country. It's totally out of hand.
Yeah, we went out to dinner last night. It was brutal,
Yeah.
the taxation.
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't believe it. It was, how much was it? It was, I paid over 20% in tax on a dinner.
A friend of mine's in Turkey and he's
20% on my dinner tax. That's not including the tip. Add the tip in, I gave her 15%. I paid 35% in addition to my meal. Can you believe it?
But see, Nova Scotia, our economy is a public spending, based on public spending. Health, it's all about, there's no free enterprise here, and that's why everybody's leaving, going out west. And even now, there's really no place to go because Alberta's...
they export our trades. We don't have trade school anymore.
Well, there's big issues in Calgary, but you know, the problem is all the welfare handouts.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, for sure.
You know, could you believe this? I'll give you an example in the debates too. The Conservative Liberals, all those candidates were going on about guaranteed income. This is right out of the UN Agenda 2030. These conservatives, come on, look at them.
Maybe even
Guaranteed income.
Like this is out of Orwell. Like the whole meaning of conservative has no meaning. Has no meaning. The same conservative was going on about diversity is our strength.
Do you think society?
And I was
is more
the
like-
only candidate speaking up to them. All of them were just towing the line. This is the reality.
If diversity are strength, why is Canada so divided?
Exactly. They want it divided.
diversity is division. Divide and conquer.
Yeah, divide and conquer. Yes.
It's political. It has
But they
nothing to
ask
do with
the young
anything
people in
else.
the States, the millennials, what kind of government you want. They are all, most of them are socialists. They want to put Bernie Sanders in power.
Yeah.
So that tells you young people, it's the education system.
Yes, it is.
That is more, I think, of a major issue with this country and around the world, the education system.
Well, you know, the conservative, it's funny you should say that. The conservative was going on about we have to do more education, more indoctrination.
More brain
Could you believe it?
More dumbing down.
See, they think
They
that-
want more of it.
You see, they think because if you have a PhD or a master's degree, that you're qualified to tell everybody what to do.
Right.
In other words, the electrician, who's actually more important, and if the power goes out, are you going to call a English professor with a PhD, or are you going to call the power guy who can fix the, you know, that's the guy who's really important, right?
It's like
Hands-on,
Yeah,
hands-on, on
exactly.
the ground.
It's like
And that's our approach, UCMC.
Yeah.
We're always on the ground, engaging, right?
it's like Cuba.
So we embrace that whole approach, right?
See,
We don't sit in ivory towers at NCA. We're on the ground. We're on the ground right now.
Yeah, because if we went to Lenore Zan, she would talk to us.
No.
She would speak to Scott Armstrong. I've known Scott Armstrong since he was a teenage boy. We played baseball.
Tony used to strike him out 2 or 3 times a game. Seriously, automatic strikeout.
You know, I mean, I don't mind the guy. It's a career. They're career politicians that want to get in power, and they want to get their pensions.
He missed
We all
his
know
pension by a
that's-
week or something
Yeah.
like that, or
Yeah, he's just trying to get his
Seriously.
pension. He missed it by a week. So this is just a gravy train.
He was Bill Casey's campaign manager.
Was he?
He was Bill
Yeah.
Casey's
Oh my
campaign
God.
manager. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they're all in bed together.
Oh, yeah.
But
Wow.
apparently there's a problem now
There
because
is-
Bill Casey's been going around with Lenore Zan door to door.
Wow.
So there's a big. So now they don't
And
like
there's
each
a
other.
feud.
And there is a little bit of a deep, like you said in one of the videos, there is a deep state.
Deep state
Small
in
degree,
Toronto.
I mean, there is.
Yeah.
There's
Might be a
question.
shallow state around here. It could be shallow. I don't know.
But it is here. It's embedded. It's embedded.
Well, I called it a mini deep state.
Yeah, it is.
Just a mini deep. That's what I was pretty shocked. I've never experienced that before. So it was pretty enlightening for us to actually see that. It was kind of out of a movie, some horror movie, some, you know. But I just can't believe it.
It's hard to believe where we are today. How far it's. I mean, we've discussed these issues 20 years ago, and honestly, I could see the future
Right.
based on what I knew and based on what I've read, and we're here right now. This is the path. Where are we going to go in this country?
We're at the
We
crossroads.
we really need a change right now. And if we continue to put these mainstream parties in power, then we're in real trouble.
This country reminds me of the Empress of Ireland
What is it?
or the Titanic, a nice,
Oh, yeah.
beautiful ship.
Oh, yeah, we've already
Great.
introduced
Good
the
one.
iceberg.
Hit a rock
Good
and
one.
sunk, and that's what this country's, you know, this country's one of the best countries on the planet, and we've done it to ourselves because
We could be the richest country with all the natural resources we
You're
have
totally
here.
right.
We could be so wealthy here in this country. But politicians they want to create these two classes. You know, them and down here at the bottom.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And they've done a damn good job of creating that.
Definitely that's what they're doing. They're also dividing now through all the mass migration. Displacing workers,
division, diversity.
and they're eliminating the strong traditional population, right?
It's a Tower Babel.
It's kind of like Orwell and what's the other guy wrote the
Huxley?
other book?
Huxley
It's a
was
combination of
excellent.
both.
What
Yeah,
books did
it's
he
a
write
combination of
actually?
He wrote Brave New World.
Oh, Brave
It's a
New
combination
World's
of both.
excellent.
It's-
Yeah.
He actually wrote another book about
Yeah.
the devils of Blue Dawn. Remember that story?
He was excellent too, Huxley.
Yeah, he saw the future. And,
But there's some of this I think there's some they didn't see.
Huxley, you talking?
I mean,
Some of Orwell, I was thinking about just the multi-control.
Huxley was more though, he was kind of a society where it's super sexual and drugged up.
Oh yeah, that's right.
You know what I
That's
mean?
right.
So
that's
that is
right,
actually
yeah.
probably closer than like Orwell's more. I think it's more interesting.
Yeah, he was
I
more
think-
double speak Orwell,
Right.
going into double speak and also intimidation, like a police state.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
He was going into
The
that.
media is behind
There was also the media programming,
Oh, yeah.
right?
And CNN.
So there's a lot of similarities with both. You can combine both. But you see the pharmaceuticals coming in. Eh? But they didn't talk about the migration, how they brought migration in and dividing and
They used to have it when in
No, I don't
Rome.
think it was in, no, it wasn't in
No,
there.
but they were still visionaries, great visionaries, right? So they can't know everything.
Well, there was one of the videos on there, and you were talking to a young fellow, and he was dressed up in a suit, and you were discussing the issues. And he almost started crying in front of you when you started discussing taxes. It just tells you something
The
about
liberal
young
guy,
generation. They can't-
liberal.
they're
I think he tried to
anti-
grab the cell phone.
Yeah.
He was so
Did you see
upset.
that?
He was so upset.
Did you see it?
Yeah. But if you did that 50 years ago,
Yeah.
it's almost
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
you could see how they've changed
Yeah.
the teenage mind.
Well, they can't. If
can't
you
deal
tell
with
them, it's the same in baseball. Okay, they're up there and they're
Yeah.
swinging and they strike out on 3 pitches. And they're not even close to hitting the ball, and the coach says, "Attaboy, good job." Instead of saying, "Okay, your bat speed's slow. You got to get your weight back a little earlier, and he's probably going to throw you a fastball. So get ready to hit." You know, you tell him.
The truth.
You tell him the next time, you know, he might hit the ball. But all they say is, "Yeah, attaboy, good job. You just struck out.
But it's also-
Congratulations."
It's like everything's watered down. Everything's watered
This is a
down.
true story. This is a true story. but
Way
we
to
have
go, you're hitting like a girl.
Yeah.
Good
I
job.
won't say who it is, but we know. All right, it's our nephew. So, her sister phoned us up and said, "Your nephew just won Most Improved Player." I said, "In what sport?" She says, "Oh, hockey." I said, "I didn't even know he was playing." So I said, "How many games did he play?" She said, 2. I said, "How many games did he play last year?" 2. I said, "How many goals did he score last year?" 0. "How many did he score this year?" 0. I said, "Well, how did he win Most Improved Player? This is ridiculous." So they give him Most Improved Player, and I said, "It's just a joke, man." So that was the end of the conversation. She hugged the phone up on me, right? That was it because
They were trying to encourage him.
yeah. Like he scored 0 last year.
What
0.
about the kid who was really the
Right,
most
that's right,
improved?
that's right,
What,
that's
what
right.
about him?
That's right.
They wanted
Most Improved Player, 0 goals.
I know.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's so, it's making me to shake the
Yeah.
camera.
Okay. So we're gonna thank you. We're gonna go to the Marxism. We want to see that now and document it.
CC?
Yeah.
CC.
So we're gonna have to go there.
Che Guevara's there on the wall as well.
Yeah. So we want to go.
Take a footage of
Are
it.
you able to come with us?
Yeah,
or?
sure.
Mayor,
Okay,
write
we're
down-
gonna head over. Thank
write
you,
that book
everyone.
down for you.
Share your comments, and we look forward to reviewing them.
I want to write this book down. For
Yeah,
you.
write it
I'm sure
down.
you may have written it
Excellent,
down.
excellent folks here. Wow, this is our hope, everyone. These two robust traditional
Yeah.
Canadians,
Yeah.
and our friend right here
Yeah,
too.
all the way, all the way.
So beautiful stuff here, and you guys have made it through this. So, see, that's a beauty. You've been indoctrinated.
It's not over yet.
We've all been indoctrinated here on some level, right? So we've had to fight through it, right? I've been through kindergarten, elementary, high school, and You name it. So we fight through it.
It's more in your face today than ever.
Yeah,
Cut
yeah.
and cut.
Excellent stuff. Excellent stuff.
Friend of mine's in
Here's a
church.
book for you, Intellectuals by Paul Johnson.
Friend of mine's in church.
Okay.
And he
Intellectuals by Paul Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
in Turkey, he's paying like
all you do is
68
press
cents a